Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Donnie here. It's Monday afternoon, evening after Strongsville. I made it back home safely yesterday after pretty much a full day of travel, flying and then back to Nashville and driving down from Nashville to where I live. Met my wife and daughter for dinner after getting back home. They were on their way back home from a dance competition in Chattanooga, so I met up with them. And then did a little bit of sorting and cataloging of my pickups, which you can see back here, the stack. So it's quite a stack of cards to go through. But I want to share those with you tonight. I'm sure you've seen lots of other Strongsville pickup videos and recaps and so forth. I did not make any video footage during the show as far as the showcases and tables and that kind of stuff. One, it was crowded, so it was kind of hard to do. The guys with media passes were able to do that much better before the show opened up to the general public. Once it opened, it was crowded and hard to maneuver around the tables. Friday was very busy. Saturday was also very busy. Saturday was in particular, you had to really kind of wiggle around people to get through the aisles. So I thought all the dealers were saying they were having a great show. So it seemed like there was a lot of deals being had. Anyway, so you've seen those videos from the other YouTubers already, so I'm not going to try to duplicate that. I did go to the get-together that Chris from Missouri hosted on Friday night, so that was a lot of fun. Met Chris, met several other YouTubers there. Dave from Peacemaker Cards, Warren D at CLE, Orlando, Mike Monahan, Darren, Greg, Pastor Craig, John 3D80's kid, several others. I'm going to miss everyone. Anyway, so I met them, had a lot of fun. That live stream of Chris from Missouri going head-to-head with Mike Monahan on the Showcase Showdown was hilarious. It was great fun. So really enjoyed being there for that. And then trade night, Saturday night, was also very good. I actually didn't make any deals there as far as trades and stuff go. It was basically another show within a show. There was a lot of folks there. A lot of guys set up with tables that had a lot of cards, high-end cards, for sale and also for trade. And I looked around quite a bit. If I had more budget left, I would have been happy to spend it there. So I think next year I'm going to reserve some of my show budget for trade night. But a lot of people showed up for that. It was great again. So kudos to 4 Collectors for putting on that trade night. I mean, I can't imagine them hoping for any more of a success than it was. It was really good. So I hope to do that again next year as well. But now let's turn the camera around. I'm going to show you some cards. Some of the lower dollar ones I'm going to just skim through real quick. Not going to focus on those. But there's quite a few here that I do want to share with you in a little bit more detail. And I'll do that. So stay tuned. Okay, so we're back. The first stack here are relatively low dollar cards that I picked up from a few different tables. These are mostly bargain box kind of buys. Most of them are hits that I needed for my sets or subsets that I'm working on. So I'll just go through these real quick. So first up is the 54 Topps O'Brien Twins card. That's a pretty famous, popular card from the 54 Topps set. So I picked that one up. 57 Hank Bauer. Nice second card there I need for my set. 57 Jim Gilliam. Same thing. 59 Topps Keystone Combo with Nellie Fox and Luis Aparicio. So this checks off a box I needed for my 59 Topps set, as well as combo card subset that I'm working. Common from 1960 Topps I needed there. A few League Leaders cards. I'm going to show these all at once. So 1961 and 3 from 1962 Topps set. There are a few Hall of Famers in those cards. Those check boxes on my set builds as well as my League Leaders subset that I'm working. Another high number common for my 65 set. This is an upgrade I needed. And then 1970 Brooks Robinson that I need for my 70 set. So those were kind of, maybe not all, but a lot of the bargain box things that I got on the second day. At the trade night, I bought a few things. One thing from Sammy Thunder and a few things from Scott Reindeer Studios. So Sammy Thunder, I got this Lou Brock 1976 Isales card. So that fills a hole in the Lou Brock player run there. So that was pretty neat. That was $1 from Sammy Thunder. So thanks, Sammy, for that. And then from Scott at Reindeer Studios, he had this really nice looking 59 Topps Jim Gilliam card I picked up for $5 from him. So that fills a hole in that set. And also, I picked up these two custom art cards. One of Tony Gwynn, who was one of my favorite players growing up as a kid. That's just a really cool card. And you can see it's numbered, signed and numbered there by Scott, 25 out of 50. So I thought, getting a unique, more or less, Tony Gwynn card was kind of cool. And then the next one, I've got to show this to my wife because she'll love this one, is Wild Thing. And this one is numbered 8 out of 100 and signed by Scott. So I love Major League the movie. So there's that. So I picked up that at trade night. Let's see, going back to some of the other pickups, I had been looking for the 57 Ted Kluszewski card for a little bit, and I found a stack of them there at one of the dealers, and went through the bargain bin and kind of picked out one that I thought looked pretty nice for the price. So I finally got that Ted Clue card that I've been looking for. And then also from that same dealer, this was also in the bargain bin, Johnny Mize, so 52 Topps Hall of Famer. The front looks really good, a little OC, but a little pretty good front. I didn't realize that at the time, but the reason it was in the bargain bin is there's a little bit of, it's hard to see, a little bit of pencil markings, it looks like, on the back. But on the front, that'll go into display pretty nicely. I'll upgrade it later on. So there's that. Next up, I did get a couple hits to my 1964 Topps Giants set. So got the Kari Yastrzemski I needed. We'll put him back here on the stand. And I also picked up the Hank Aaron. So the Hank Aaron I think was like $50. The Carl Yastrzemski was 18, 20, something like that. There was one Willie Mays that I saw at the show. It was like $250 price tag on it, so I skipped over that one. There were several Sandy Koufax 64 Topps Giants cards. Pretty much all of them were about $125 price tags on them. So I decided I would hold off on those right now. I didn't see any of the short prints I needed. And so I'm still on the lookout for those. But this brings me down to, I think, 6 needed to complete that set. So chipping away there, I'm making some progress. When we were sitting in the bar area before the Friday night YouTuber get-together, Hodges 1455 was sitting there, and we were all showing our cards and pickups from that day. And he had a stack of exhibit cards that he had picked up. Just, Hall of Fame players for dirt cheap. I mean, it was amazing. And so that kind of got me looking at some of the exhibit cards day 2. And there was a lot of them to be had at the show. A lot of dealers had at least a few. Some dealers had like thousands. I can't remember the dealer I got these from. Actually, 2 dealers. But the one dealer literally had probably multiple stacks totaling a couple thousand exhibit cards. In alphabetical order, so it was really nice to be able to go through them. But I picked up this Sam Jethro card, exhibit card. I thought that was pretty nice looking. Then also got Enos Slaughter exhibit card. Picked up Richie Ashburn. So another Ashburn for the player run of him. Then also picked up Stan Musial. So the price tags on these, I got a little bit off each of those. So Stan was probably $25. Richie Ashburn was probably $8. Enos Slaughter was probably $12, something like that. But I really like the exhibit cards. They have really good photos. They're oversized, so great images. So there are those larger cards. And give me just a second. I'll clear off the table here, and we'll look at some more cards, some of the bigger hits. Okay, some of you that may have seen some of my other videos know that I'm starting to work on the 1954 Red Heart set. So I did pick up one Hall of Famer at the show for that. It's the Red Sheen-Diced card. This was at the same dealer that I got most of those exhibit cards from. So it looks pretty nice. You can get these Red Hearts in really high grade if you want, 7s, 8s, 9s, because they were mailed in and for using coupons by the collectors back then. I'm not going after a super high-end set, so it's just kind of mid-grade. It's fine. I think my Richie Ashburn is a SGC4. The others right now I think are ungraded. But anyway, so Hall of Famer for that set. Great looking card. Speaking of Richie Ashburn, so y'all knew that I was going with the hopes of picking up a 50 Bowman Richie Ashburn, and at Stan's he has just a ton of inventory. I mean, insane amount of inventory. And so I was going through stacks of Bowmans there with his wife, and he had multiple Ashburns to pick from. So I went through from the stack and kind of narrowed it down to 2. And this was actually the cheaper of the 2, but it looked so much better to me than the other one. And so finally got that 1950 Bowman Richie Ashburn. Really good centering, great color. The back on this one is brighter than the more expensive one that I was also considering. So I just like this one much better. Had a price tag of $150 on it, I believe. Probably paid somewhere around $130 on it. So 50 Bowman Richie Ashburn checked off the list. And then on day 2, I was going through and happened to catch this one, corner my eye, and stopped and looked at the stack. And he had a few of the, another dealer had a few of these, and so I picked one out. Again, picked out the nicest one for the price. This is a 51 Burke Ross Richie Ashburn. Had a price tag at $50 on it. I paid $45 for it. So I wasn't really planning on picking up, see if I can get the camera to focus, the 51 Burke Ross of Ashburn, but I did. So I'm very happy that I was able to check those two off of that player run. Okay, next up, as you guys probably also know, I was trying to make some progress on my 1965 top set that I'm nearing completion on. So I was able to pick up 2 key cards from that set. These also came from Stan in the same deal that I got that 50 Bowman Richie Ashburn. So the first up is the Tony Perez Ricky card. So number 581, high number, just a really sharp looking card. So mark that one off the list. And then also, I guess I'll put it here in the middle, I picked up the big rookie card remaining for me from the 65 top set, and that's the Steve Carlton. Again, really nice looking card here, well centered, good colors. So the Carlton, the Perez, and the Richie Ashburn total, I think cost me $650. I think the sticker price on them was $725, so they knocked $75 off, something like that. But now I'm down to 3 cards needed to complete the 65 top set. So I need the Koufax, the Pete Rose, and the Willie Mays. So I should be able to pick those up, hopefully at some Nashville card shows here later this year, and finish up that set. Okay, give me a minute. I'm going to make some room, and we're going to continue on. Okay, next. One of the things I love about going to card shows is you never know what you're going to find there that you weren't expecting to find. And just walk by a showcase, you see something that catches your eyes, you start up a conversation with a dealer, and it's just like meant to be. And so I went to the show thinking I was going to try to pick up some pre-war type cards that I didn't have copies of yet. And I was really thinking I wanted to try to get a DeLong. I was thinking a Hall of Famer or a star player. And there were some DeLongs there. There were some high-end or more expensive Lou Gehrig DeLongs and some other ones that were quite pricey. I wasn't looking to spend that, but I was expecting to spend $300 or so on a DeLong to get a copy of one. And this one dealer had 2 DeLongs in his case, and the other player, I can't remember who it was. It was a Hall of Famer though, and it was $300-400, something like that. But he had this one sitting next to it, and I'm like, well, how much is that one? He says $40. Like, $40? So I'm like, sure, for $40 to get a 1933 DeLong. Yeah, it has some dirt on the front and stuff, but it's still a great looking card. Type card. Lon Warneke. The Cubs. I didn't know anything about Warneke when I bought this, but I thought for $40 for 1933 DeLong, that would be a great start to that set. And so after looking up Warneke on Baseball Reference, he actually, was a pretty darn good player. He has a WAR of over 45, won 20 or more games, 3 different seasons, was a pretty solid player for, really strong player for at least 3 or 4 or 5 years there. Played pretty regularly for about 10 years, had a 15-year career. And so I got this DeLong for $40. So starts me off of that set. Gives me a type card, a set I didn't have. Learned something about a pre-war player that I didn't know much about to this point. And that's just a great looking card. Dirt or no dirt on the front. So for $40, I will take those kind of deals every day. Okay, next up, some more pre-war. We got a few more cards here, then we'll get to the big prize of the weekend. I was hoping to pick up some more tobacco cards. I haven't done much in my T206 set lately. I was also maybe thinking about adding a card to my T205 Giants team subset that I want to work on. So I found this Jack Murray T205 for the Giants. I think this was $45 or $50. So get the camera to focus. There he goes. So red back, sweet cap back. So Jack Murray. So one card in the T205 set. And then I found a couple polar bears. First one is Stanage, the T206 set. Card I did not have. Did not have a polar bear back in it or the card period. So bright, bold polar bear back. So that brings me to, I don't know, maybe 33 or so polar bear backs for my set. Then also this Jesse Tannehill polar bear back. So again, I think this was I think the Stanage was actually like $70. This Tannehill was maybe around there, $60 or $70. A little bit dirtier than the Stanage, but still a bright, bold polar bear back. So I'm trying to get as many polar bears as I can. So those two are additions to my T206 set. And stay tuned, I got 2 more cards here to show you. Okay, next to last card, back to T206. So one of the other things I was hoping to find was an off back that I didn't have already. I needed the American Beauty 350 no frame back still, and backs that are rarer than the Carolina Brights back. And I was looking through some stacks of raw T206s, and one dealer had this, and it was marked as what it was. Price was priced accordingly compared to the other T206s, but I still thought this was just a great find for me. This is a Germany Schaefer Washington throwing pose. Trying to get the camera to focus there you can see it. So pretty decent looking front. But what makes this stand out from the others is the back. It's a Piedmont 350 460 series, factory number 42. So for you, those of you T206 back collectors know that this is a fairly rare back. It is rarer than the Carolina Brights. That was my currently most rare back that I own. I think this is like maybe the 10th rarest back. Carolina Brights is somewhere around the 13th rarest. So I picked this up. It had a $275 price tag on it. Offered the guy $250 and he took it right away. And so I was expecting to have to pay a lot more for a Piedmont 460 factory 42 back for sure. Probably at least $400 or more, 500, something like that. But I got this one for $250, and I'm super happy that I can add that to the back checklist, check that one off. Eventually I'll get a Hall of Famer with this factory 42 back on it, but that's probably down the road a little ways. But for right now, that was a pretty exciting find for me. So there's that one. And now the last one is really what I went to the show looking for. Hoping to find one of these. There was quite a few of them, I would say, around the show. All different conditions, raw and graded, high end, low end, everything in between. Most of them have the typical centering issues that this card is known for, especially at the top, but some of them also on the sides. I went around, found another one in the same grade that was at the same price, and the first dealer I talked to didn't seem like he was willing to budge off the price. It was listed at $1,500. And so I kind of said, okay, yeah, I'll keep looking. Went back over to Stan's where I had made the deal for the Richie Ashburn, the Steve Carlton, and Tony Perez rookies, as well as some of the other bargain bin cards. And he had one there. Like I said, same grade, nice centering, priced the exact same, $1,500. Looked at it, offered him $1,350. He said cash. I said yes, cash. He said absolutely. So I came home with the 54 Topps Ernie Banks rookie card and SGC4. It is an old holder, so I'll probably have it reholdered maybe at the Nashville show this summer. We'll see. But you can see the top there, white space between Ernie Banks' name and the top of the Cubs logo and the top of the card, which is my main criteria. But also, if you look left to right, Ernie Banks' butt is not cut off there on the right side of the card, so it's centered left to right relatively decently for this card that is notorious for horrible centering issues. Good surface, good color, just a really great looking card. Here's the back. So again, bold colors, some edge and corner wear, as you would expect for a card of this age and of this grade, but for what I wanted in my collection is a little bit kind of at the higher end of my price range that I was going for, but I'm super happy to have picked this one. It was worth 100, 150 bucks, 200 bucks more than a lower grade one in my opinion. So anyway, so that was the big pickup for the weekend. That kind of made the whole show worthwhile, is to finally get that Ernie Banks rookie card. But all these other cards, the Germany Schaefer Factory 42 back, Carlton rookie, Perez rookie, my 50 Richie Ashburn, 51 Burke Ross Richie Ashburn, that 33 DeLong of Warnicki, and just all the other cards. Great show. Hope to be able to go back next year. Plan to be able to go next year. I'm going to start saving right now so I can bring a little bit more money with me. I spent essentially at this card show what I would normally spend an entire year on cards, and so I used some of my annual bonus money to go to the show with agreement from my wife, and hopefully I can do that again next year, maybe increase the budget a little bit more, see if I can get a couple bigger cards. But I'm so happy that I went. It's good meeting people. Show was fantastic. Tons of post-war, golden age vintage, both raw and graded. If you're looking to build sets, there was tons of dealers, set up to support set builders. Quite a bit of pre-war and oddball stuff as well. There were some things I didn't see as much of that I thought I would see. I did not see any Mayo cut plugs. Saw some, I would say a few T3 Turkey Reds. I was really expecting to see more of those. I saw maybe a couple dozen, 3 dozen, something like that, old Judges. I was expecting to see more of those. Tons of Gaudis, though. If you're working on a Gaudi team set or full set, or just the Hall of Fame players from Gaudi, there was just an abundance of those to choose from, an abundance of every 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s card you can possibly imagine, from Topps and Bowman and even the oddballs. So again, great selection of cards to choose from. Nice size venue, not so big that it's overwhelming like the National, and good people. And with the YouTube community there and hanging out and stuff, it made it even more fun. So definitely plan to go back next year. Anyway, guys, that does it for my pickups from Strongsville 2025. Hope you enjoyed that. Feel free to leave comments. I try to respond to all the comments I get. And if you didn't get a chance to go this year to Strongsville, I highly encourage you to try to make plans to go next year. And if you do, I will see you there. Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you later. Take care.